Hi guys, Virginia here and I'm back with another 12 by 12 process video for you today. Gosh, that's a mouthful. This one's for the Kitaholic Kits design team and I'm using the gorgeous October kits. So these are full of the Cocoa Vanilla Unforgettable collection and it's absolutely beautiful. But for some reason, I really struggle with Cocoa Vanilla collections. Like the first one always seems a little bit easy, and then as they get on, it feels like it gets harder and harder, and I don't know why. I mean, they're absolutely beautiful, and I'm completely in love with them, but I struggle with them. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so this one it was a little bit of a struggle. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, but I ended up cutting this cut file just out of white cardstock. It's one of this month's exclusive ones from Kitaholic Kits. It's a super cute little like stacked heart wreath thing. And I've decided I'm going to back it on this minty green paper. I felt like, well, my first thought was actually to use the floral, but then I felt like the florals would be really lost in those tiny little hearts, so it would kind of be a waste of paper. So I thought something solid would be better, and then I could probably utilise some of those larger floral die cut pieces that I've got. At the end, I don't end up using those large pieces. I think I found them a little bit too difficult to use because they are very big. Okay, so I've gone ahead and finished backing that. It was really easy, just kind of fussy cut around the two edges. I backed it with some foam, and I'm just kind of considering what I want to do for my background. Now, there was a few options here. I could use that white with the black spots, but then I didn't really want to cut into it because it's the only one I've got of that sheet, and it's a cut apart on the back, and I loved some of the images that were on there, so that's where my mind's going at the moment. And then I'm thinking, well, I wonder what the floral would look like behind that, so I grabbed the little 6x8 version, and of course it was too small, so I tried using the bigger piece, and I just couldn't really picture it in my head for some reason. I was really struggling with this one, and I thought, no, those florals are too much. What about something a little bit different, something with a little bit of texture and a bit of interest, and maybe having those florals on the outside? And I thought that wood grain might be a good option, and I didn't mind it. And then I go back to the florals, and then I bring in my photo, and I decided that the wood grain would be a good option. The photos of my husband, myself and Eddie, we're all dressed up to go for a wedding. Seems this kit's kind of perfect for these recent wedding photos we've got. But yeah, so I've gone ahead and I've backed that heart frame with the wood grain, and I just didn't like it. For some reason, I guess the direction of the wood grain, it was so direct, like it didn't really flow or anything, if that makes sense. But it did flow only in one direction, like you could either go horizontal or vertical, and I just wasn't feeling it. So sadly I ripped it off. I've kept it intact. Don't be too alarmed, I've still got it there. And I went for the floral, but then I had the problem that those florals were incredibly busy in the centre of that. So the option was to kind of balance it out with white on the background. We all know white's not my best friend. I'd much rather use a pattern paper background. But yeah, I've gone with the white, and that's what I'm sticking with. So we're just going to go from there. Okay, so I've just trimmed down my photo. It's got a nice little white border on it. I'm just backing it with some vellum. I'm going to add that wood grain just to bring some of that kind of masculine feel just behind the photo. I'm cutting it very close to the vellum, so it's barely visible, and that vellum really softens it up, but it just does add that little bit of a masculine feel. A bit of that minty green that's in the cut file, so just a thin border of that. And I'm just trying to decide where I want to put my photo. You'll see me kind of go through a whole bunch of ideas here as I go along with this layout. So this is one of the 6x8 papers from the Pocket Page kit, and it's got this gorgeous cut apart sheet. So I just cut out a little label, and I'm going to cut this little wreath out as well. At first I thought I was going to keep it in that square, and then I decided it was a bit too boxy for the design, so I'm just going to fussy cut around the edge of that. and it's got a little, it's got some lines in it, so that'll be a perfect little journaling spot for that. I'm just going to sit it on the corner down there. Going to find a home for this little label I've cut out and pop that in there, and then I can kind of start sifting through the die cut pieces. I do kind of consider, because I see those circular frames there, I wonder if I kind of shove my cut file over to the left and then have a bunch of other circular pieces, but I think a really large circular piece like that serves best in the centre of a layout, so I quickly pop it back and abandon the idea of the frames. And here I am just trying this large floral die cuts, and again they don't make it onto this layout. I just felt like it was getting a little bit overwhelming. That pattern paper in the centre is very, very full on, so yeah, I'm being very mindful about what I'm adding to the page. That camera comes off. I contemplate that little title, Living the Dream. It doesn't end up making it onto the layout, but I do bring in a few butterflies. I think I fussy cut these on my last layout I created. I didn't end up using them, so I've got them just kind of sitting there. So I'm just going to add a few, kind of in like 3 spots around the page, so they're kind of forming that visual triangle. I'm just umming and ahhing about which ones go where. Got a little label die cut just popping in down there. Some more butterflies. And still just kind of sifting through. I contemplated these flowers. I tried them, but again they were just a little bit too big, and kind of dominating that spot up above the photo, so they come back off the page. I do like that little black sentiment though, that does make it onto the layout. And I wanted something to kind of break that space between my photo and that white background, so I've just fussy cut out that pink piece off one of those pattern papers, and it's a nice, gives a nice pop of colour and a nice focal point behind my photo, so it kind of draws your eye over there. Some little die cut hearts, just kind of scattering them around. They go really well with the hearts on the cut file. Just looking through the sticker sheet, and I'm just going to pop this little tab to the right hand side of my photo, and I'm just moving a little fussy cut label over as well. Okay, a little tassel, I do get one of them onto the layout. I think I switch it for the green one though later on, and I'm still deciding about these hearts. I wasn't sure about them because I wanted them scattered on the white background, so I set them around the cut file, and then I decided I didn't like that. I tried a flare badge, decided I didn't like that. And here comes in a green and a white. That flare badge doesn't make it. I think flare badges are my Achilles heel when it comes to scrapbooking. Whenever I get them in a kit or I buy them, I just can't seem to make them work on a layout. I don't know why, but they always look out of place to me. On other people's layouts they look great, they seem to be able to work them in, but I just, yeah, they are not my friend. White cardstock and flare badges. Yep. Okay, so those little hearts have been shuffled around back to kind of where they were before. Just adding another little banner underneath my photo, just for some more layers really, some more interest. And umming and ahhing about what I'm going to use for my title, and I decided to go with one of the black ones. I think white would have been perfectly acceptable, but it probably would have been lost on that floral pattern paper or on that white background, so I do end up using a black one just so that it stands out. I'm just going through the clear stickers as well now, just pulling off a couple of the butterflies that are on there. I'm going to use them because we're going butterfly crazy, I might as well use them. So just kind of tucking them under places and stick them in the white cardstock background. They look really pretty there. Okay, I'm happy with all of this, so I'm going to go ahead and glue it all down. So just kind of working my way around. That cut file isn't adhered down, by the way, but I'm just kind of gluing some pieces strategically, and then I kind of lift up one side and put a whole lot of glue under it, and then pick up the other side and glue the rest down, and did my photos as well. So everything's glued down now. I'm just going to add my title. It's going to be The Good Life. It's going to sit smack bang in the centre of that circle. To the left of my photo, I'm just going to put life down as well. It fits there really nicely. Just shuffle that word "the" over and put the little line up there. And I do try the black hearts, but they don't make it onto the layout. Couple more clear stickers, just some little hearts. So this is me kind of balancing out the black, but ever so subtly with the use of some of those clear stickers that are black. Some little labels as well, little word stickers. I'm just going to stack them. I think I stacked 3 of them down here, just in that little spot beneath that journaling spot and that tassel. And I'm just trying to get them off. I'm having to run my finger through because the stickers don't quite want to peel off very well. And I decided it needed white cardstock. I can't do it. So I'm just going to trim 1/4 inch off all 4 sides of that white cardstock, and then I'm going to gut this floral pattern paper and leave about 1 inch border, and then I'm going to mount my white cardstock onto this floral paper and have a really pretty floral border, just to kind of frame it, finish off the layout. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just cutting it now, just for 1 inch. It doesn't sound very nice, does it? I'm gutting the paper. Don't think about it too hard. But yeah, okay. So just trimming out the inside. There we go. Got a nice 1 inch border. Just going to line it up. I'm going to pop some ATG tape around. And just pop my white cardstock on it. Whoops. So we've got that nice kind of floral pattern colour peeking out, and I trimmed off a little bit of one of the butterflies. I wanted that back there, so I've just peeled it off and popped it in place. But after that, it's pretty much my layout. So I hope you enjoyed the process. If you want to check out the kits or the Kitaholic Kit shop, the link is in the description box below. But until next time, bye guys.